Over to the hardwood, and we've got a triple header on tap tonight. Let's start with the Connecticut Sun, who play host to the Los Angeles Sparks tonight with a little twist. We're heading out to a sold-out TD Garden. The Sparks are in free fall at the bottom of the W standings, losing 14 of their last 16. The Sun enter as 13.5-point favorites tonight with a total of 158.5. And then we head out to Brooklyn, where the Liberty enter as 11-point favorites over the Dallas Wings. This weekend, New York took down the Aces and became the first team to clinch a playoff berth. The Liberty are the newly minted favorites to win the championship and have the highest total on the board today at 174.5. And then out in D.C., the Seattle Storm look to bounce back after losing their first two since the Olympics break. They take on the lowly Mystics, who enter losers of 4 straight and 6 of the last 7. The Storm enters 6.5-point favorites tonight with a total at 161. And now we welcome in Maria Marino, WNBA expert, to the studio. Maria, we have been back in the W for just under a week now.
Yep.
Is there anything in particular that has stuck out to you thus far?
Yeah, first of all, great to be with you in studio, Charlie. I would say just the level of play carrying over from the Olympics into the WNBA season, and specifically for Breanna Stewart, who has the Liberty looking really good. But Sabrina Ionescu is questionable tonight, so that's something to keep an eye out on.
Yes, and we'll get more into the Liberty in just a second. But let's talk tonight's game in particular with the Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics. Storm 6.5-point favorites. You know, this is a game that probably doesn't pop off the radar as a must-watch game in particular, but it's really interesting with the Storm. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, big news for the Seattle Storm today. They just landed Gabby Williams, who played amazing in the Olympics. I think she's going to be a game changer down the stretch. Do not expect her to be available tonight. However, I like the Seattle Storm -6.5 tonight against Washington. And the big reason why is it's just a major bounce back spot for Seattle. They're coming off of 2 pretty embarrassing losses, first to the Dream and then the Indiana Fever on Sunday. And in particular against the Fever, the Storm looked frustrated. Like they were upset at the end of that game. And so they just really need to get back on track here. And the Washington Mystics are really the perfect team to do that against. They are the worst team in the league. They haven't been bad against the spread full game. In fact, in the first half, they are the best team in the league against the spread. But here's the catch. In the fourth quarter, they are bad. Worst net rating in the fourth quarter at -16, while the Storm are third best at 7.6. So look, the Storm are 0-4 ATS in their past 4. I feel like they are just kind of due here. They have been playing down to their opponent's level. They haven't been playing as good as they should be. They're the 4th best offense in the league, 3rd best defense. Oh, and both times that the Storm lost 2 games in a row this season, they covered as favorites in the following game.
This really does feel like a great spot to beat up on like the little brother, little sister of the W right now.
They better.
Bounce back, they're angry.
Yeah.
Also, in my mind goes, you mentioned the fourth quarter stat, it would be like, oh, if they're down in the first half or if it's a little close, maybe look to add to the Storm live because it's a great opportunity based on how they play down the stretch.
Absolutely. And if you're not keen on betting them right now, -6.5, that's exactly what I would do. I would start watching the game. If the Mystics are competitive in the first half like they've been, then look to jump on the Storm.
So there you have it. Seattle Storm -6.5, potentially live later on. That's the best bet for tonight for Maria. But let's take a look at the futures market as well. Of course, we have to discuss this. And here's how it's shaking out right now. The New York Liberty in particular, as I mentioned, have taken over the head spot as the WNBA futures leader in the championship race behind the Vegas Aces. As for the Rookie of the Year market with Caitlin Clark, she is the heavy favorite at -2,500, ahead of Angel Reese. More on that in a second. And then A'ja Wilson out of the Vegas camp has been absolutely dominant this entire stretch. She leads the W in scoring by 4 points per game. She's leading the league in blocks, and she's second in terms of rebounds. Sabrina Ionescu is second in this race. All right, Maria. So listen, I mentioned the MVP. We'll get to that in a second. I need to talk about the Rookie of the Year race right now because Caitlin Clark is such a heavy favorite, and it makes sense. She's, just outside the top 10 in scoring. She's been an incredible facilitator, really has grown in her first year in the W. But it feels like this is just the Caitlin Clark tax effect. She has such a high number compared to Angel Reese, who's also been incredible. She's leading the league in rebounding.
Absolutely. I wouldn't suggest betting on this market because I do think that it's Caitlin Clark's award. But to your point, she is completely overpriced right now. I actually feel the race is closer than the odds indicate. The reason that I say that it's Caitlin's award is she's hit a few milestones that I think voters are going to have a hard time ignoring. So she just shattered the rookie single season assist record. First rookie to record a triple-double. Set the single game assist record with 19. So those things, when you have milestones like that, but for me, the big differentiator is actually the usage. Caitlin is 12th in the league and 3rd in the league in minutes. So she's just contributing so much. She has scored or assisted on about 43% of the Fever's points this season. That's insane. But I don't want to ignore Angel Reese here. And that's why I say the race is closer than the odds indicate. Angel is 1st in the league in rebounding, which is not an easy feat. And interestingly, a better net rating than Caitlin Clark, if you want to get technical about it. And then Angel, of course, had her own milestone. She set the record for most consecutive double-doubles with 15. And by the way, 19 points, 20 rebounds the other night against Phoenix.
Incredible.
Like, she is balling out. And so it's hard. Like, I think what this has taught us is not that Caitlin is great, we knew that was going to happen, is that Angel is a damn good player too.
Right. Both of these should not be like understated how well both have performed, and both are in the playoff race right now. They're inside the top 8. So it's not, and it's usually it's them basically carrying this team to get there. So definitely weird to see a rookies or 2 rookies kind of take that leadership role
living up to the hype.
Yeah, and the advanced analytics nerds out there definitely catching the Angel Reese.
Yeah, the net rating.
Right, but let's talk about the MVP market as well. Obviously, this one a little bit even more staunch than Caitlin Clark. A'ja Wilson's running away with it, and I think rightfully so. Ionescu in 2nd. How do you just see this one altogether?
So this is another one where I can't go out and tell you to bet in confidence because A'ja is overpriced, and the other candidates, again, I think the race is closer than the odds indicate, but I just don't think those other candidates are going to get there because it's so hard to flip a narrative midway through the season. We talk about it a lot in the NBA. Like, once voters kind of get it in their minds, it's just kind of natural to keep thinking, hey, this is the MVP. Now, Asia's been so dominant that the Aces record, to me, has not come up enough in this conversation. They have been hovering around the 4th or 5th spot in the standings. I am the nerd that I am. I went back and looked up, how many MVPs have we had that are, the team finishes in the, the bottom half of the playoff team. So 21 of the 27 league MVPs have come from the team with the 1st or 2nd best record. And of the last 15 MVPs, only 1 did not have the 1st or 2nd best record. So I think that's notable because everyone kind of just assumes, it's A'ja. That being said, she has been dominant. And to me, I feel like Sabrina Ionescu is getting to that point where she's breaching the conversation just because the Liberty are the best team. And if you watch them play, she's really key to everything that they do, but she's not going to win it.
Right. Wilson is a stat stuffer, and that's what she's done the entire season. And then you look at Sabrina and New York, they have really come on strong. Sabrina leading the Liberty in both points and assists. So let's talk a little bit more about this Liberty team because they are 23-4 right down in Brooklyn over here. They took over the Aces as number 1 in the futures market. What do you see here? Are the Liberty the team to beat, and is there value on anyone else in particular in this market?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
So the Liberty are the team to beat, and I think they really did make a statement against Vegas. They had beaten them earlier in the season, but that was without Chelsea Gray. Now they go into Vegas, win pretty handily, and I have to admit, this time last year, I felt really good about the Liberty too. But there are a number of differences that I've noticed this season as compared to last season. 1, Brianna Stewart looks way more aggressive. 2, Sabrina Ionescu has made a huge leap. She has just improved her game. If you look, she She leads the league in first quarter scoring. She really likes to get them going fast. She's distributing. She's improved her mid-range, her float game. And then defensively, I think they really struggled last year against the Aces, particularly defending the perimeter. Well, in comes Leonie Fibish, who's actually another really impressive rookie. She's got length. She's great defending on the outside. Meanwhile, the Aces just look a little burned out to me. They had 6 Olympians, so maybe a little fatigue. And then also, they have the toughest remaining schedule of the top 5 teams who I consider contenders.
Right.
Not an easy schedule. But to your second question regarding the value, I do see value on a few teams here.
Okay, tell me more.
Namely, I would consider taking a flyer on Minnesota. I'm seeing them around plus 950. They just picked up Myisha Hines-Allen, which I think is nice. They also beat the Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup earlier in the season. And then you have Connecticut and the Seattle Storm at around plus 800. We talked about the Storm adding Gabby Williams.
Right.
Huge, huge get. I don't know if it's enough to put them over the top because it's really hard, I think, to get somebody integrated into the system and everything this late in the season, but she is a game changer for sure. And then Connecticut, they added Marina Mabry. I think that makes them much more of a threat offensively. They were already really good on the defensive end. Again, I'm just not sure it's enough, but at those prices, you know, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, I think would be kind of fun, but this could be the year that the Liberty win their first championship.
Yeah, I was about to say, hopefully this is the first year that the Liberty win their championship.
Wild.
I mean, listen, the New York sports teams, someone needs to bring home a championship to New York, and hopefully it's going to be the Liberty. But Maria Marino, thank you so much for hopping on, and let's go Storm tonight, huh?
Yes, let's do it.
And just a reminder that you can hear more about tonight's slate by checking out the latest Buckets WNBA podcast featuring Dano Mataya. New episodes come out every Tuesday and Friday.